Hey guys, I am Pixel Dan, and today we're going to be checking out the Masters of the Universe Origins Evil-Lyn, inspired by her 2000X design. Now this is really cool. I like that they're doing some non-vintage toy line stuff within Origins now. I think it's a really cool way to kind of round this out and get some of these different versions of these characters in a vintage style. This of course comes from the 2000X or 2002, 2003 series, whatever you want to call it. And one thing that I think is really cool is they even used the logo from that toy line and put a sticker right there on the blister bubble. So it's basically a reissue of the Evil-Lyn we already had in Origins with a whole new paint deco that is inspired by that particular toy line. But there's something else that I want to focus on in this video as well. Because, interestingly, there were two versions of Evil-Lyn released almost simultaneously. One of them has the brand new female knees. That's right, Mattel retooled the knees for the female figures, and they're all supposed to have it from this point forward, but it looks like some versions of this Evil-Lyn did squeak out with the old knees still. Now, the reason that I've got two packages here is that you can kind of tell just by the packages. Now, that sticker is almost perfectly over the knees, so you can kind of see if you lean the package forward and tell which version you're getting, but there's even a much easier way to do it, because if you look at the cross-cell on the back, the other thing that is changed are the heads on He-Man and Skeletor. Because if you look at the version over here with the old knees on the left has the standard Origins He-Man and Skeletor heads from the initial release. But as you guys may or may not know, they have also reissued He-Man and Skeletor with the more vintage inspired heads, and those are on the cross-cell of the new knees Evil-Lyn. So the cross-cells are different on the packages as well, something that you guys should keep a lookout for if you're looking for one specific version. Aside from that, still some awesome packaging here. Once again, I got to give a shout out to the amazing artwork on that top portion of the back of the card backs there. I really love how they're using like the Lords of Power version of Merman and like that classic mini comic version of Stratos to like hang out with this version of Evil-Lyn on there. We got Stinkor on there as well. Just some absolutely beautiful artwork. So we're going to go ahead and get both of these opened up, and we'll take a look at them, and that way we can see the difference between the two versions. Alright, so we've got our 2000X inspired Evil-Lyn outside of the packaging. This version here is the one with the older knees, as you can see, and I've kind of criticized these on Teela and Evil-Lyn and Sorceress before. The strange looking weird little knee flaps. So we'll look at the new ones here in just a second, but I do just kind of want to point out that the rest of this figure is still the exact same mold as the first version of Evil-Lyn in this particular lineup. Instead of the vintage style yellow skin tone with the kind of baby blue uniform that she's wearing, she now has the very pale skin tone and the purple uniform. And I actually really like this look. In fact, I prefer this quite a bit. And even though they're billing this as like a 2000X inspired look, she had a look more similar to this in the Filmation series as well. So it's a really cool look. And even though it's just a repaint, I think it does look really, really nice. I especially love kind of like the three tones of purple in her uniform there. You know, you got like this kind of mid-tone purple on the top of her unitard there and her wrist bracers. It's a darker, deeper purple on the body, and then it's topped off with this nice light purple on all of the designs there. And then the helmet is like this deep black with those purple accents. I think it looks really, really nice. I like it quite a bit. So let's bring in that other version of Evil-Lyn and stand her side by side. So this is the one that I was talking about with the updated knees. And let me tell you, there is quite a difference there. I think it is really an improvement. If we get a closer look at the knees, you can kind of see what Mattel did there. They still are knee flaps, right? Like they're just kind of hanging over the joint. But the way that they kind of made them come a little smaller at the bottom bottom there, rounded out the knee portion, it does look quite a bit better. Not perfect, definitely still not like an excellent looking joint, I don't think, but it is a huge improvement. It looks way better than these very strange looking knee flaps on the older versions of the figures. So I do think that's great. I'm glad that they addressed this. There was a lot of complaints about the knees on the female figures. And even though Evil-Lyn is the first figure to have these new knees, they've started using them on all the females going forward. In fact, there's already reissues of Tila out there with these knees. I've seen pictures online, so definitely something to keep your eye on. And then, of course, Sorceress and anybody we get from this point forward should have the improved knees. As far as the articulation goes, it's exactly the same as before. You got the head that's on a ball joint, which the head is removable. You can see it's a pretty tight joint there, but you can pop the head off, so that moves all the way around. You got those joints at the shoulder, so the arms can go outwards, forwards, and backwards. Swivel at the elbow, a single joint at the elbow, swivel at the wrist, a hinge at the wrist. You can turn it at the waist. You can also pop the figure apart at the waist. You can also pull the arms out of socket there at the shoulders. The legs are on the ball joints there at the hips, the ball and socket joints. Forwards, backwards, outwards. You got a nice joint at the knee that also swivels at the knee. You got the swivel at the boot cut, and then the ankles can move forwards, backwards, as well as rock side to side. You can also pull the boots off there, so you got that mixing and matching fun that the Origins line is known for. And of course, she comes with one accessory, which is the same crystal ball wand from the first release, but this time it is done in that dark purple coloration. All right, guys, it's comparison time. So I do want to go ahead and show this Evil-Lyn alongside some of her previous releases. Of course, I was talking about the first release in the line, so we've got to start there. Just so you can see it's the same figure, just different colors. But I also want to stand her alongside the 2000X action figure that she's supposed to be based upon. Now, of course, the outfit is quite a bit different. She had the longer skirt piece there, but the colors you can see is where the real inspiration came from. And I'll go ahead and stand her alongside Battleground Evil-Lyn from the Classics line, which is also inspired by that 2000X color scheme there. And it's really interesting. We've actually had several 5.5-inch scale Evil-Lyn action figures if we also throw in the Super 7 one that is based on the Filmation look. So kind of cool to see all these different versions of Evil-Lyn in this particular vintage scale. So there you go, my friends. That is a look at both versions of the brand new 2000X inspired Evil-Lyn action figure, part of the Masters of the Universe Origins line. I realize this one's been out for a little bit. Part of the reason I took so long to talk about it is because I wanted to make sure I had both versions. My original pre-order came in and I noticed it had the old knees, and I was very confused by that until I realized that there was another version with the new knees, so I had to track it down. So that's why it took me a little bit longer to get it. You should still be able to score this one at some of the online stores. I'm not sure if they're still in stock at the moment, but I've noticed they've been getting replenished quite a bit at places like Big Bad Toy Store and Entertainment Earth. So if you're striking out at retail, definitely stay tuned to some of the online toy shops. Thank you guys so very much for watching this video, and until next time.